Picture this, the Himalayas, snow-capped mountains meeting these like lush valleys.
Yeah.
It's Himachal Pradesh, right? Known for its beauty and a kind of pristine environment.
Yeah.
But even this, like paradise, isn't immune to climate change. So today we're doing a deep dive into how climate change is kind of like reshaping this region.
Right.
From glaciers to like its unique biodiversity.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, we've got a ton of articles and research all about Himachal Pradesh.
Great.
And our mission is to figure out like what are the key changes happening.
Yeah.
And how is this beautiful state adapting.
Yeah.
So by the end, you'll not only have a clearer picture of what's going on in Himachal Pradesh, but also kind of understand like what it means for all mountain regions.
Yeah, it's like a case study.
Yeah, case study.
And you're right, even a place like seemingly remote as Himachal Pradesh is feeling the effects.
Yeah, let's get started with the basics.
Okay.
What's the climate situation like in Himachal Pradesh?
Well, the data shows, a warming trend
Right.
across the region. We're seeing, rising temperatures.
For shorter winters and less snowfall.
So what does that mean for those picture-perfect images
Yeah.
we all have of like snowy Himalayan peaks? Are those going to be a thing of the past?
They might become less frequent, and it's not just about the scenery either.
Right.
These changes are impacting like the very foundation of life in Himachal Pradesh, water.
Okay.
The Himalayan glaciers are a major source of water for the entire region.
It's huge.
Yeah, and they're retreating at an alarming rate.
So less snow, less glacial melt equals less water flowing into the rivers.
Exactly, and those rivers are like vital arteries. They
Yeah.
support communities and agriculture and ecosystems downstream.
Yeah.
So what happens when those arteries start to run dry?
Yeah.
It's a question with serious implications for the whole region.
Yeah, it paints a pretty concerning picture for the future.
Yeah.
How is the natural world coping with all this? We're talking about a region with incredible biodiversity.
Well, the delicate balance of Himachal's ecosystems is being disrupted.
Species are forced to adapt or migrate to find more suitable habitats. Take the snow leopard, iconic symbol of the Himalayas. As the snow line recedes, they're losing their habitat.
It makes you wonder what's happening to other species, especially those that are vulnerable.
It's a crucial question, and it's not just wildlife.
Yeah.
People are feeling the impact too. Farmers in particular.
Agriculture in Himachal Pradesh, I think of like apple orchards.
Yeah.
How are they holding up?
Traditional farming practices are being tested like never before. They're dealing with unpredictable rainfall, warmer temperatures, shifting growing seasons, all of which makes it harder to grow those apples.
Right.
Farmers are having to adapt
Yeah.
and transition to crops better suited to warmer temperatures.
So we could see like the agricultural landscape of the region changing significantly.
Yeah.
What kind of implications does that have?
Imagine the economic and cultural implications of those shifts. This transition away from apple orchards is a cornerstone of Himachal's economy and culture.
Yeah.
Could have far-reaching consequences for communities who've relied on them for generations.
Yeah.
It's a complex situation, with a ripple effect that touches many aspects of life in the region.
And it's not just agriculture.
Right.
Tourism is a huge part of Himachal Pradesh's economy.
Absolutely.
And that seeing changes too. Fewer people are coming for those like classic snow activities.
Yeah.
As the winters get shorter and warmer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, summers are becoming more crowded.
And there's another trend emerging.
Okay.
Tourists are staying longer, partly due to increasing pollution in cities like Delhi.
Makes sense.
So people are escaping to like the cleaner air of the mountains for longer periods,
Right.
which puts pressure on the region's resources, which
Okay.
raises an important question.
Yeah.
How can tourism adapt to be more sustainable in a changing climate?
Yeah, that's a question destinations worldwide are facing, not just Himachal Pradesh. But despite all these challenges, it seems like there's some hope. Himachal Pradesh is taking these proactive steps toward sustainability and climate adaptation.
Absolutely. They're not just sitting back and waiting for things to get worse.
Right.
There's a real focus on finding solutions and building a more resilient future.
Okay.
And that's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we've painted a kind of bleak picture so far, haven't we?
Yeah.
Melting glaciers, struggling farmers, tourism facing an uncertain future. But let's shift gears and talk about solutions.
Yeah.
What are some of the proactive steps Himachal Pradesh is taking towards sustainability and climate adaptation?
Well, it's encouraging to see the focus on renewable energy, or hydropower in particular is a big deal in Himachal Pradesh.
Yeah.
They've even earned the nickname Power State of India.
Wow.
For their efforts in harnessing, the power of their abundant rivers and streams.
So they're generating clean energy and contributing to India's energy grid.
Yeah.
That's a pretty smart move, especially as the demand for cooling systems increases with rising temperatures.
Absolutely.
But isn't hydropower reliant on consistent water flow?
Right.
And didn't we just talk about how those rivers are being affected by melting glaciers and unpredictable rainfall?
Yeah, that's a critical point. You're right. Those seasonal variations in water availability are creating some hurdles for hydropower generation.
Okay.
They're having to adapt and find ways to ensure consistent energy production, even with the changing water dynamics.
Right.
It's a balancing act, but one they seem committed to figuring out.
So beyond energy, what other areas are they focusing on?
Sustainable tourism is another key area where they're making strides. They're moving away from the idea of mass tourism and promoting a more responsible approach.
So instead of just focusing on attracting more and more tourists,
Yeah,
they're trying to minimize the impact of those who do visit.
exactly. Think of it as a shift from quantity to quality.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, they're encouraging, eco-friendly accommodations,
Yeah.
promoting responsible travel practices, and supporting conservation efforts for local flora and fauna.
So it's kind of like saying, come enjoy our beautiful state,
Yeah,
but let's do it in a way that protects it
exactly.
for future generations.
That's a great message. And what about agriculture? What's being done to help farmers adapt to the changing climate?
Well, they're promoting practices like crop diversification,
Okay.
moving away from monoculture and towards a variety of crops better suited to the changing conditions.
So spreading the risk.
It's about spreading the risk. Yeah, exactly. If one crop fails due to unpredictable weather,
Yeah.
they'll have others to fall back on.
Makes sense. What other strategies are they using?
There's also a strong focus on water conservation techniques.
Okay.
Things like rainwater harvesting, drip irrigation, and terracing are all being promoted. It's about making the most of every drop of water, especially in a region facing water scarcity. All these initiatives sound pretty promising.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the role of local communities in all this.
Yeah.
Are they just beneficiaries of these efforts, or are they actively involved in shaping and implementing these solutions?
That's one of the most encouraging aspects of Himachal Pradesh's approach.
Okay.
They're not just top-down solutions imposed from above.
Right.
Local communities are at the heart of many of these initiatives.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What are some examples of that community involvement?
Take, for example, the revival of traditional water management systems like nalas and kools.
Right.
Nalas are small spring-fed ponds that collect and store water,
Okay.
while kools are intricate canal systems that channel water from the mountains to villages and fields.
Wow.
These are ancient systems that have stood the test of time.
So they're incredibly efficient and sustainable.
Exactly.
It's almost like rediscovering, forgotten treasures.
Yeah.
What a powerful example of how age-old wisdom can be incredibly relevant in today's world.
Absolutely. And it's not just about reviving the old, though.
Okay.
Communities are also embracing new approaches like organic farming,
Okay.
which is gaining traction as a way to maintain soil health and productivity
Right.
while minimizing environmental impact.
Makes sense.
They're also forming, collaborative groups
Oh.
to share knowledge, resources, and support.
It sounds like there's a real sense of community ownership over these solutions.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of collective action, a force multiplier in the fight against climate change.
Resilience isn't just about adapting to existing challenges, is it? It's
Absolutely.
also about preparing for future ones.
Right.
So what about disaster preparedness and risk management?
You're right. Himachal Pradesh is prone to landslides,
Yeah.
especially with the increasing, heavy rains and often unplanned construction.
Right.
So they're investing in landslide monitoring systems and early warning mechanisms
Okay.
to mitigate these risks.
That's crucial for the safety and well-being of these communities.
Yeah.
Are they doing anything beyond just technology and infrastructure?
Yes, they're focusing on training local communities in disaster response and relief operations.
Okay.
It's about empowering people to take ownership of their safety and well-being.
That's a crucial element of resilience, equipping communities to deal with the unexpected. Sure, it's not just about adapting to gradual changes, but being prepared for sudden shocks as well.
Precisely. And another critical piece of the puzzle is education and awareness.
Right.
Climate change is a complex issue, and understanding it is the first step towards addressing it.
Right.
So schools in Himachal Pradesh are integrating climate change education into their curricula,
Okay.
raising awareness among the younger generation.
It's about fostering a sense of environmental stewardship,
Yeah.
empowering young people to be part of the solution.
And it's not just limited to schools.
Okay.
NGOs and government programs are conducting community outreach programs, educating farmers, local businesses, and residents
Wow.
about the importance of sustainability and climate adaptation.
So they're creating like a shared understanding of the challenges and working together to build a more resilient future.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really tackling this from all angles, weaving a tapestry of resilience through a combination of modern solutions and traditional wisdom.
Exactly. And they're proving that it's not just about reacting to problems,
Right.
but proactively seeking solutions and integrating sustainability into every aspect of life.
I'm sure there's a lot that other mountain regions facing similar challenges can learn from Himachal Pradesh's experience.
There is, and that's precisely what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
We've spent this deep dive exploring how climate change is impacting Himachal Pradesh.
Yeah.
From melting glaciers to shifting agricultural practices. But more importantly, we've seen how the region is responding to these challenges. What are some of the key takeaways for you? What can other mountain regions facing similar situations learn from this?
One of the most striking lessons for me is the importance of, integrating traditional knowledge with modern solutions.
You're talking about things like those ancient water management systems we discussed, canolas and cools, right?
Yeah, they're a powerful reminder that sometimes the answers to today's problems can be found in the wisdom of the past,
Right.
It's about looking to those who have lived in these environments for generations and understanding how they've adapted to challenges over time.
Right.
Other mountain communities could benefit from exploring their own traditional practices and seeing how they might be adapted to a changing climate.
It's about recognizing that value of local expertise and understanding that those who live in these environments have like a deep connection to the land and its rhythms. What else stands out to you?
The power of community engagement is another crucial takeaway.
Yeah.
In Himachal Pradesh, communities aren't just passive recipients of aid or top-down solutions.
Right.
They're actively involved in creating and implementing solutions that work for them.
We saw that with the revival of traditional practices, the embrace of new approaches like organic farming and the formation of collaborative groups. It's really impressive.
It's a testament to the idea that collective action can be a powerful force for change.
Yeah.
Other mountain regions can learn from this by empowering their communities to be part of the solution, tapping into their knowledge and supporting their initiatives.
Himachal Pradesh's approach to tourism also offers some valuable insights. They're really trying to find that balance between economic benefits and environmental protection.
Tourism can be a double-edged sword. It can bring much-needed income and development, but it can also put a strain on resources and damage fragile ecosystems.
Yeah.
Himachal Pradesh is showing that it's possible to develop tourism in a way that minimizes negative impacts and prioritizes sustainability.
Their emphasis on eco-friendly accommodations, responsible travel practices, and conservation efforts sets a great example for other mountain destinations, especially as tourism continues to grow globally.
Absolutely, and we can't overlook the importance of disaster preparedness,
Right.
particularly in a region as prone to landslides as Himachal Pradesh.
They've invested in monitoring systems and early warning mechanisms.
Yeah.
But what's particularly impressive is their focus on training local communities in disaster response.
That's a crucial element of resilience. It's about empowering people to take ownership of their safety and equipping communities to deal with the unexpected. It's not just about adapting to gradual changes, but being prepared for sudden shocks as well.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into climate change in Himachal Pradesh, what's the overarching message you hope listeners take away from this?
I think it's a story of hope and resilience. While climate change presents significant challenges, Himachal Pradesh demonstrates that it's possible to adapt and even thrive in a changing world.
By drawing on traditional knowledge, empowering communities, and embracing sustainable practices, they're charting a path forward that others can learn from.
And their story offers valuable lessons for all of us, regardless of where we live. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a more sustainable and resilient future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into climate change in Himachal Pradesh. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. Maybe it'll even spark some conversations about how we can all contribute to a more sustainable world.